Right, hello and welcome to Theme Park Euphoria, and you can tell probably just from behind me, there's Hyperia, Saw is somewhere there. I'm at Thorpe Park and it's been 6 years since I last came here. It just feels good to be back. So the reason why I'm actually coming here today is because I'm on the way to visit family in the southern eastern area of the UK, and Thorpe Park is literally on the way down. So I thought, okay, while it's on the way to where I'm going, I just simply could not stop this, but I'm thrilled to be back, if you pardon the pun, because there'll be plenty of thrills to come in this video. But Hyperia, I'm excited if I can get on it. I just checked the queue times actually before getting in through security, which was actually a doddle. The waiting time, I think I waited about 18 minutes to go through the security checks. But I got through quickly, probably because I didn't have a bag. Now the reason for the security checks is because of an incident that happened here quite a few, I think it was a couple of years ago, but I can completely sympathise with the procedures that are taking place. Thanks to all the Thorpe Park security team, you've done a fantastic job. So I'm in the dome, and I'm going to stop right there, because I want to try and catch my breath, because I've been walking here, because I didn't actually park in the car park. I parked quite a way out, because I'm also paying £12 for the parking. Now, gonna just about head out to the other side of the dome, and switch to the Osmo Action, because I don't want to end up using the battery on my phone. So let's go and enjoy Thorpe Park. Okay, interesting. So upon arriving here, I've just discovered Quantum has been moved. Or has it? I don't know. Has it always been there? It's been a very long time since I last been to Thorpe Park, because I've never noticed Quantum there, the Hyperia flying carpet. Vortex, I know, definitely over there. In fact, actually it is kind of coming back to me now. Yeah, thinking about it, I do recognise. Now, in terms of what I'm going to go on first, there is one coaster that I do want to head over to, because it's one that I've always glossed over. This is only my my fifth time coming to Thorpe Park, and there's one roller coaster that I do want to go over, because I've seen it doesn't have a long queue time. And that coaster is Flying Fish. So this is the one that I've never ever done. I've been focusing more on the more thrilling stuff, but I've not actually got a good glimpse of it. But there it is. So while it's not actually that long of a wait, 5 minutes actually, which is really good, let's hop on the Flying Fish. Well, I'm glad that I actually managed to get on that in the end. Given the fact that the coaster is, what, late 80s? That's surprisingly smooth given the age of it is. So yeah, Flying Fish, although not the most thrilling coaster in the park, I did still have quite a lot of fun with that. Now, just behind it right there, you can see is the Swarm. And as much as I'd like to get on that right now, I checked the queue time and it is 40 minutes. So I'm going to have to pass that for now. Saw and Stealth, I believe, is currently closed. There is Storm Surge down there, and thinking about it, I'll just check the wait time for that and see, because Storm Surge I've never really done, so I could try and change that depending on the queues. Okay, so Storm Surge is only 5 minutes, which is quite surprising, because given the fact that it's a water ride and it's quite hot, I'd imagine the amount of people that would want to have cooled off. But while it's not really much longer of a wait, and I've never actually done Storm Surge, let's hop on it. Okay, so change of plan. Storm Surge, it said on the app it was 5 minutes, but then it's just skyrocketed to 35 minutes. So, bit gutted because I would have liked to have gone on this. So Storm Surge is going to be a later, and I'm going to have a good walk around. Going to check on the app and see which has got the shortest queue time. Okay, so the last time I actually stepped into this area, it was Angry Birds Land, and now it is Sunset Boulevard? Big Easy Boulevard, that was it. I believe it is. There's a Sunset Cinema just under the Big Easy bumpers, which was King Pig's Dodgems. And Detonator, which has had its identity changed with a fireworks theme, which really matches the theme a lot better than the Angry Birds theme, I have to say. Now, in photos, I have seen of this, and I was wondering, okay, it is... So by the looks of it, it's got brand new restraints on it because they were red and they are now black. But I'll show a good look at them when I'm a lot closer to the ride. But while it's a 15-minute wait, which isn't too bad, let's hop on Detonator. Despite my certain reactions that I have against drop towers. Oh my god, the noise! There's a tree in the way. The noise I just made the moment I came off of this. I'd never ever, in any other circumstance, let out a noise quite like what I just did. And that perfectly sums up why drop towers are probably the most thrilling thing for me. Because of the forces, the pulls. Now we have Nemesis Inferno, which is currently a 40-minute wait. So I'm not going to hop on that just yet. So what I'm going to do is, apparently Samurai's not doing too bad. It's doing a 10-minute wait. So I'll head on over to that area down there. Yeah, so currently in, I think it's Fearless Valley technically now because Hyperia's here. But Samurai has really changed its identity from the last time I saw it. It's now back in the old Chessington colours, which is really great to see because I did prefer this scheme. Now the queue at the moment is 20 minutes, so I thought, okay, while I've come down this way, I thought may as well hop onto it while it's not so bad. But anyway, so I also got to check out the test seat because I had a few issues with Henry Dancer's top scan. So once I've done that, I'll hopefully hop on Samurai. Okay, so I'm just double checking and...
You gave her back to you and I put it in the puppies and I got them back. They're literally...
The red light is still on. I think my shoulders have something to do with it because my belly, it's not quite pressing against it. You know what, I'm not going to risk it. As much as I would like to enjoy, but I don't feel it's going to, I feel it's just going to be potentially 20 minutes wasted, which it's not really biggie to me because if I had to set an example of how not to run a top scan, it's definitely this, because it's not run at full power, it's computer controlled. If you want to get an example, look at how when Stanley Reeves had Extreme, that to me set the standard of how a top scan should be run, along with Kaiser Skater in Germany and Henry Dancer's top scan when it went to Barry Island. So I don't think it's going to be that huge of a loss for me. Now, gonna have a good walk around. Actually, I'll go check out Saw. How is Saw doing? Right, so Saw isn't actually doing too bad, but I've also just realised that the single riders queue is available, and I've already tested in the test seat over there, and I fit fine. So 45 minutes, hopefully not for me. So, actually, is it this way? Yeah, I think this is it. Okay, so here I go on Saw. I swear this coaster is under some kind of curse, because despite the single running queue, that was a horrendously long wait. Due to somebody being sick, there was technical issues all of a sudden. That was a much longer wait than anticipated, so I'm a little bit disappointed with operations on that one, but it was still worth the wait. And after coming off, Samurai is down for technical checkups, because I believe that something has gone wrong with one of the slip rings on there. Now, this is it. So I was with somebody who was in the single rider queue for Hyperia, and I was told that it was only about a 15-minute wait. And given that I've been hearing that Hyperia eats through queues, so maybe I may as well take this time while I'm near the area to find my Fearless, funny enough, as it's down there. You know what, let's do it. Oh my god, where do I even begin to describe what I've just experienced? For the record, this is actually my first inverting coaster that has a lap bar rather than over the shoulder restraint, so somehow it has been this long overdue, but I'm finally glad to have got on this type of coaster and Hyperia in general, because the overall general experience is unlike anything that I've ever experienced from any coaster ever. And I get why it's called the most weightless coaster. Genuinely, I'm just lost for words. So with Hyperia done, I'm happy about that. The main reason why I came here is done. I'll definitely be getting on that. I'll make that my last ride of the day, but I'll join the main queue so that I can get a front seat with a bit of luck. So, gonna have a walk around. I'll keep an eye on the queue times. Let's have a look and see what else I can get on at this time frame. Now, this is interesting. So, Colossus has jumped. It was, I think, at worst 60 minutes wait earlier today, but that shifted down to 10 minutes. So, why not? The power of 10, as it was originally known as. Colossus, let's go. I'll tell you what, people give Colossus a lot of stick because of how rough it is. but for me, I found it fine. I do feel like the trains are a little bit awkward in terms of the awkward safety bar design. I had the fin dig into one of my hips, and legroom on there is pretty premium. I do feel that this coaster does need the next gen Intamin trains with lap bars, but overall, not a bad experience. So, this is something of a rarity, and also given the fact that I haven't ridden that Colossus in 8 years, funnily enough. So, next up, I was going to rush over to Swarm. Hey, I did a thing. Yeah, but Swarm only had about a 15-minute wait according to the app. But while Rush is not that long of a wait, I thought I'd hop on this. Well, despite the short cycle, Rush definitely does live up to his name. So the S&S Screaming Swing was great to get back on that. Now, somewhere over there, just behind all those plants, I'll probably get a bit of it. Oh yeah, here we go. So, Zodiac, the Huss Enterprise, I'm not interested in because Enterprises in the UK seem to be quite restricted recently, because I last experienced one at the one that was at Alton Towers before it got scrapped. I didn't really enjoy it, but there is one ride I do want to check, because I've not actually done the Afterburners for a while, and having done Freakouts relentlessly over the past few years, I do want to see if I can get back on this, but I just got to go and check the test seat first, because of KMG being notorious. Oh, it's not open. But I just want to see, because KMG have a habit of being notorious for not accommodating larger riders. So let's just try this out. Okay, so that is interesting. Just by that, I'll just look up to the point where it just lowers. Or, yeah. So, that's the highest point. And I would fit. So that's good to know. So I can get on Vortex, which unfortunately is down for examinations at the moment. But also, I can't really zoom in because of the Osmo Action. But there where I'm circling, that's the KMG ride plate. Gives you all the technical specs, and I don't think, can I get access down there? No, I think that's restricted. Yeah, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to check out the queue times, either Nemesis Inferno or the Swarm, depends on which one's the shortest queue. Okay, so hopefully it's still the case of it being a 15-minute wait, because I would like to say this is my favourite coaster in the park, but I think Hyperia may have just snatched the title. But I still love this coaster. It still holds a special place in my heart, just because of the overall experience, just the fact that you've got no track above you, no track beneath you. It really does have an enhance on the overall ride experience. So, let's get on Swarm. Okay, so I swear that this is not as smooth as it used to be, because it is rougher in comparison to how it was when I went last, when I went 6 years ago for definite. So I'm not quite sure what has happened there, but still, I do still really enjoy the Swarm though, however. I guess it kind of added a bit more to it. And it was tolerable rough, not like Pinfari rough or Zampola Volare rough. So with Swarm done, I'm probably going to get back on that later if I can. There is one other coaster that is the highest priority. Okay, so there is one ride that I have never ever done here at Thorpe Park, and that's Tidal Wave. The reason for that being is because how very wet you get on this, and because of the amount of stuff that I have in my pockets, most of it isn't waterproof or water resistant. Have they changed the... Is that neon or is that... I thought that was LED flex tube then. But since it's only a 5-minute wait, I'll give it a go. But if I can't leave the items that I've got in my pockets, I may as well go. Here we go on Tidal Wave. Perfect timing. So if I can't leave anything behind, this is going to be very interesting. Oh my god. I will admit, I didn't get as wet as I anticipated, and the splash was not as worse on the front row as I did anticipate. I actually got a splash the bit we were at the station. I'm surprised they haven't even put a guard there, and when we got splashed, the attendant, well, the operator actually was like, haha, on the microphone. So thank you, whoever that was. Now Stealth over there, that has been closed all day, and at this rate it's not going to be opening. Now I'm going to get myself some... I do want to get on Nemesis Inferno, but I need to get some food because I actually skipped breakfast and haven't eaten all day. I need somewhere that does hot dogs. So I'll pause the vlog to get some food, and then I'll head over to Nemesis Inferno. Okay, so I skipped the drink because I didn't fancy paying, what, £5 for what will probably be 600 millilitres of soft stuff. £9.25 I ended up paying for that hot dog, so that's something that I won't be doing again. Keep a close eye on the queue times actually to see how Hyperia is doing. Just guided about Stealth. Unsure as to why it's actually closed today. But basically I've just seen Nemesis Inferno over there is only 15 minutes. So that's actually the lowest I've seen today. I'll probably just check the app for Hyperia, but this was actually the last coaster I went on when I last visited here in 2019. And with a 15-minute wait, time to get on Nemesis Inferno to be precise. I will admit, it is a bit rough on one of the 0G rolls, but overall the rest of the ride, brilliant. I do wonder how much this baby has got actually left in her, because I do wonder, when this does come to 28 years old just like Nemesis did, I'll just skip the queue area here, just see if there's an easier way. Oh, that's really dark. I'll just come out the shop, hang on a minute. Yeah, so I do wonder what's going to happen when this reaches nearly 30 years old. For me personally, rather than have a retrack, I'd like to see this get replaced with a Flawless coaster of the same or similar layout. Because on Flawless coaster, I just love to have one of these over here. But anyway, still does good. Now Detonator I'm going to be skipping because there are a couple of re-rides that I do want to do, because the park closes in 40 minutes. And I'm actually going to pause the vlog. I'll rush over to Swarm, then over to Hyperia. So I'm going to pause vlogging for now, and I'll see you guys back at Hyperia. Okay, so despite the advertised time for the swarm being 15 minutes, it was practically a walk-on. So the advertised queue in this is half an hour. Now I am joining the main queue just to see how fast this eats through queues. And hopefully I'll be able to get a front seat, because that's the one thing I want to do with Hyperia, is get a front seat. So I will pause it right there. Gonna see how long this takes. And whilst I'm calling this my last ride of the day, rediscovering my Fearless in this case, I guess, as I've already found my Fearless earlier today. So although it was disappointing that I didn't get to finish off the day on the front of the ride, because the attendant said no, unfortunately, but it was still a phenomenal way to finish off the day here at Thorpe Park. Hyperia, I know I said this earlier in the vlog, but it is unlike anything that I have ever experienced in my life. It's my first ever roller coaster that inverts and doesn't have a over-the-shoulder restraint. The fact that this is my first one, honestly, I'm really proud of that, and hopefully I'll be able to get on more, because Icon I still need to get on. That doesn't have over-the-shoulder restraints and has lap bars. Well, it used to have the same lap bars as this did, but then went to a slightly, they went with a design with a few key differences, but I want to go sit in that test seat for a little bit. But yeah, what a way to finish off the day. And that's Thorpe Park closed, pretty much. Well, all the rides are closed, and I got to actually make my way out. So I'll see you at the front of the entrance. Okay, so I decided to wrap this from outside the sort of main entrance, as well as the entrance where the cars come in, and I had to stop there for a bit because the face rig is being a bit twitchy. But it felt really good to get back here at Thorpe Park. This is my first time here in 6 years, and there's been quite a lot that has changed. Obviously Hyperia not being here, so it was great to get on that twice today. I feel like I've had a good day as long as I've had at least one re-ride, and I managed to get 2 in the end, those being Swarm and Hyperia. I was tempted by Detonator, but I decided not to, just to play it safe, and it worked out in the end, because Hyperia was the one thing I wanted to make the last ride of the day, and I was glad that was the route it went down. But I do want to start coming here more often, because I do end up passing here, but why is it doing that? Sorry about that. But basically, because I do pass here quite a few times each year, I do want to try and make more time for it, if that makes sense. So hopefully if I am passing it and there's something going on maybe the next day and I'm heading in that direction, staying in a hotel, then yeah, I'll definitely stop here. But overall, I'm a bit rusty because I've just had quite a day. The one thing I was disappointed actually, however, today was with 2 things. Stealth not being open, which I think really had an impact on the queues, as well as the operations on Saw the Ride today. Basically what happened was they decided to have the single riders and the fast track in the same queue, and even though there were signs, but there wasn't really a designated queue for either of the two. And I know I said this earlier in the vlog, but Saw the Ride I feel like is under some kind of curse, because it's either due to minor inconveniences, technical gremlins. As soon as you get to it, everything goes all hell basically breaks loose. So that's the one coaster I've always had like issues with, and a few others I know have had issues with that coaster in particular as well. But when you do get on there, it is still a really good coaster, because some people say it's rough because Gerstlauer Eurofighters I know have a tendency to be quite rough, but for me it wasn't too bad. And Colossus wasn't bad either, but I do feel that Colossus really needs those next-gen Intamin trains with the lap bars, because I'm a little bit plus size, and I made it on by that much. in the test seats, when I tested, I forgot to do the test seats, but unfortunately, well, I would say unfortunately, but the thing is, I managed to get on Colossus okay. It was a tight squeeze, so that I think needs to change. Get those trains out and get the next gen in-spin ones in. I'm going to start recording right there because of bypasses, and I'm gonna get interrupted by them at some point. So on that note, thank you so much for watching. Now I am actually on my way to East Sussex, so there are a couple of areas, hopefully Flamingo Park Hastings, I do want to go to. I'm trying, hopefully we'll try and get there on Monday with a bit of luck during May half term. But I will keep you guys posted in community posts on what actually happens if I do end up going to it, because there's Flamingo Park in Hastings and Dreamland Margate, as well as the View Fairs, but that of course will be for the Fair Rise Euphoria YouTube channel. Speaking of which, this isn't something that I'm fully considering, but at the rate things are going, so I know I said on the Fair Ride channel I was considering focusing more on vlogging, like this kind of stuff, but here's the thing, if this channel isn't in a better position as I would have liked to have been by the end of the year, and if Fair Ride Euphoria does not reach 8,000 subscribers by the end of the year, then I am actually going to merge the two together. So Theme Park Euphoria and Fair Ride Euphoria will become one thing. And my arm is getting tired. I'm going to leave it right there because I've got to walk back to the car. Thank you so much for watching, and whatever I throw at this channel next, see you later.